Hey everyone, I just wanted to hop on today. Today is Sunday and I try to post a video at least on Sundays, at least once a week. I am hoping to get more content out, but yeah, I just want to hop on this afternoon. I've been just around the house today, been working on pictures. I finally finished up a wedding, so I'm going to get those pictures out to them. But yep, just been chilling around the house, being with my family. But I wanted to hop up here this afternoon. I have been doing a lot of studying this week, a lot of prayer journaling. A lot of you know I have really gotten into prayer journaling. It has been such a blessing in my life. I feel like I'm able to get a lot out that I've always held things in when I shouldn't have. And so that's just my way of being able to get it out and just pray to God, just let him know how I feel. Is it always nice? No. Some days it's hard. Some days I have anger built up inside, and that's my way of letting God know, just getting it out. And that's a habit that I'm trying to break, is I hold a lot in. I'm the type of person where I won't say anything. I will hold it in until it absolutely breaks me. And that's not a good place to be in. So that's something that I'm personally working on. But this week, what's been heavy in my heart is about forgiveness. Forgiveness is very important. Forgiveness is not for the person who hurt you. Forgiveness is for yourself. To kind of give you a little backstory, this is the first time I'm really opening up about it, talking about it publicly for everyone to know. I'm not ashamed of it. I grew past it. I have worked really hard in my 33 years of life. Well, not necessarily 33, I would say 28 years of life of dealing with it. I worked really hard to grow from it, not to let it hinder me in life. But it's just a topic that we never really talk about. It's a topic that me and my family have never really talked about. It's no one's fault. It's just something that we've just kind of swept up under the rug, and it's just something we've never talked about. But I believe that we go through things here on earth for someone else. And my testimony could very well help someone else. And so God has just been placing in my heart just to get it off your chest. I haven't talked about it at all publicly. A few of my friends, like, we've talked about it. My husband, he knows about it. But publicly to everyone, I have not. For one, I've always been self-conscious of what others may think. And I've learned it is what it is. People are going to think what they want to think of you. I don't care what you say, how good you are, how bad you are. Like, they're always going to assume and think negative of you. So, it's just, for me, it's my time to get it off. To kind of give you a backstory, I was molested as a child, and this is something that I kept in from maybe the age of 6, somewhere around there, until like 8th grade. And I've had a lot of people to tell me, why didn't you say anything? And people have, I've heard people say, well, she must have liked it. Trust me, I've had it all come to me. Hurtful things that you should never tell a child, that it was my fault, things of that nature I've went through. Again, I don't blame anyone. It's just the way of, it just happened. That's how it happened. But from the age of maybe 5 or 6 till I was in 8th grade, I was molested as a child. And when I got older, maybe around 6th, 7th grade, I started praying about it. And this is kind of when I got to know Jesus. I was raised in church, but that's kind of when I really got to know Jesus. And I guess the full meaning of prayer, what prayer meant. So I wanted to talk to somebody about it. And I didn't feel like I could go to my parents, or I could go to a church member, or I could go to another family member, because I was afraid of breaking my family apart. And I knew if I said something, that's exactly what was going to happen. And I've always been very emotional, self-conscious, aware. And I knew that when I said something, that it was going to happen. My family was going to break apart. Didn't know to the extent, but I knew it would happen, and I held it in for so long because I care more about my family and their happiness than the issue that was at hand. So I prayed, and God sent me a very, very best friend, maybe in 7th grade. And in 8th grade, I ended up telling her what was happening. I made her promise, do not say anything. So she was like, well, Chastity, I'm not going to tell anybody, but you have to tell somebody. You have to tell an adult. So I ended up telling an adult. And that's how it come into fruition, with my parents finding out, family members finding out, all that jazz. And kind of to make a long story short, you know, for a whole year, I felt, you know, neglected. I felt, after I told, it was my fault. I felt that I hurt my family, like I messed up a marriage. I, you know, ruined my mom and dad's reputation. Like, it was, you know, my dad is a preacher, and I felt all of that at that time. But as I got older, again, this is something I never sought counseling for. I've talked to my godmother about it a few times, but I just kind of talked about it, and that was it. But it was something that I had to work through. In 33 years, now I'm 33 years old, I'm still working through it, you guys. But a long time ago, I forgave the abuser. I forgave him not because, you know, I just wanted to move on with life, but I forgave him because I needed to move on. I needed to lift that burden off of me. And anybody who has been molested in life or is going through it right now, you know, you are not the blame. You know, I do feel like it's a mental illness. It is not right, by no means. And absolutely tell someone. Don't be afraid to tell someone. You know, if I can be of assistance to anybody who's going through, to be that outlet, by all means, let me know. And so, you know, like I said, I forgave them. I've learned to move past it. I went on through life, you know. I did get rebellious. I would go through those stages where I didn't want to be around a man, and I didn't want my dad to hug me, and I didn't, you know, trust men. And then it took my now husband, which boyfriend at the time, it took him to come along. And I remember maybe on my 2nd or 3rd date with him, I told him about it. Because I said, you know, any man who's going to deal with me, like, I got to tell him, because it might be times where I'm just despising men. I don't want to be around men. And so I needed to tell him so he'll know what those trigger points was. So the day I told him, you know, it was like a breath of fresh air. He didn't run. He didn't look at me crazy. You know, it was a breath of fresh air. And so that's how I knew that I was doing the right thing. Excuse me, y'all. But that's how I knew I was doing the right thing. Long story short, we got married, and guys, even in my marriage, like, I still would have those trigger points where I was like, get off me, like, don't touch me, don't talk to me. I didn't want to be around nobody. I didn't hate my husband, but it's almost like I didn't want to be around a man. Like, to this day, I still deal with that. I do feel like that's some of where some of my anxiety stem from. Even when it comes to my kids, like, I'm very overprotective of them because of that. Because I have a fear, and I don't want them to go through what I went through. You know, I'm trying to raise my kids, number one, to love the Lord, to know Jesus Christ. Number two, they know our mom. But number three, mom will always be there. Mom will always have an open ear. I will not judge you. If you need to tell mama anything, do not hold it back. You know, I'm trying to be that mother to them. So, of course, over these years, I had to learn forgiveness, guys. I had to learn that forgiveness was not for that person, it was for me. Forgiveness was not for the family that kind of turned their back on me. Forgiveness was for me. And over time, you know, my family, we got back close. Of course, we never talked about it, and we never will, but that's okay, you know. So I just want to, you know, get that off. You know, that was a thing that happened. But forgiveness is for me. I had to forgive the abuser for me. I couldn't go through life hating someone who was no longer here. I couldn't go through life hating someone, because I had to learn God reigns on the just and the unjust. He loves those who hurt and persecute, as well as he loves those who are in the church every Sunday. And so who am I to wish ill will on anyone? Even after the passing, like, who am I to say anything, you know? So yeah, wow, that was a lot. So I just wanted to get kind of a backstory of where the forgiveness stemmed from for me. You know, it might not be anything to the extent you might have friends who you thought, you know, I've had friends who I thought we were going to be friends forever. And it didn't happen. You know, you might have been hurt in a situation. You might have been hurt in a relationship, or at your job, or hurt by, you know, a spouse or a boyfriend, you know, something. But you have to learn that forgiveness is not for them. It is for you. One thing that I try to do is just kind of write notes down. So that way I'll kind of have like a guideline and content of what I want to talk about. But yeah, forgiveness, you have to forgive those that hurt you. In the long run, if you hold this in, it's only hurting you. That person will move on and move past it. But if you are holding on to it, that is only hurting you. That's why God is a God that we can go to him about anything. You know, I have been, like I said, I prayer journal every night. Here's my prayer journal. I write down my prayers. I write down my thoughts. Some things are good, some things are bad. Y'all, I am not perfect. I have a little cuss in here sometimes just to get it out, but God knows my heart. I am working on me. I'm working on letting, you know, Christians know, like, this Christian walk, God never said that this Christian walk would be easy, but he did say that it will be well worth it. And guys, you know, God died on the cross for our sins to prepare a place for us to where we won't have to hurt anymore, and we won't have to worry with anxiety, and worry with death, and worry with COVID, and worry with just frustration of life, you know. So that gives you hope to keep on going another day. I've had people to tell me, you know, how do you keep going? How do you keep a smile on your face even after you've been through all that? It's only by the grace of God, y'all. It is not me. I have been, like I said, raised in the church all my life. I am a preacher's kid. And, you know, I didn't know, I knew God because I went to church. I got saved the first time because I saw somebody else get saved, and I was like, okay, they got saved, I'm gonna get saved too. You know, that was my mindset. I'm being honest with you, that was my mindset. But it took me being an adult, like a few years, to really realize that God is all you need. And you don't realize that God is all you need until he's all you have. And I've been at that rock bottom. I've been in that depressed stage. I didn't talk to anybody about it. You know, I felt like my marriage was struggling because I was so depressed. I was fighting anxiety. I was not seeking help. I was not talking to anybody about it. And that was only hurting me, guys. So it's good to talk about. Find that one person that you can talk to about it. And before I get off, I do want to read a scripture. It's from Colossians 3:13. It says, bear with each other and forgive whatever grievance you may have against one another. Forgive as the Lord forgave you. How many times have we ourselves hurt Christ? How many times have we ourselves turned our backs against Jesus? But every time he is there for us. He never leaves us nor forsakes us. God is so merciful, guys. And I constantly have to tell myself that I don't always have good days. Some days I'm mad. Some days I'm hurt. Sometimes I'm angry. I don't understand why God has me in this place. You know, why am I so stressed out with work? Why am I so dealing with anxiety when, God, you said that, you know, I believe in you, and, you know, you would help me through this. And sometimes you just feel so alone. I don't know if any of you have ever felt like that. Like you're the only one that is going through these issues. But guys, you're not. You're not the only ones. But your problem, don't try to minimize your problem to make you feel like, well, God has bigger, you know, there's people out here who's fighting COVID. There's people out here who's fighting cancer. Yes, that is a big issue. But guess what? God doesn't look at that to be a bigger issue than what you might be going through. You are just as important to God as they are. Um, of course, we want God to heal them, and we believe God is going to heal them. But at the same time, you know, you're important to God too. You know, you are important, and you are worthy. You are, you know, you're beautiful. Like, if no one ever tells you that, you know, guys, you are beautiful. And I do this for, you know, a lot of women who is fighting everyday life with anxiety and motherhood and work and just being, you know, stressed out and going through depression. Guys, you are worth it. We can get through this together. We just have to be there for one another and pray for one another. But number one, forgive. It starts there. If somebody has hurt you, forgive them. Again, you're not doing it for them, you're doing it for you. So that's what I have for you tonight. I hope I have blessed someone. Again, this is me stepping completely out of my comfort zone. I have never talked about this before. I don't know how people are going to receive it, but I'm just trying to be obedient to God and praying that God blesses someone with this. And again, if I can be an assistance, help, you know, please reach out to me. I am there. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great week. We got a short week this week, so let's hit it. Bye.